Hello guys, welcome to Spring Boot interview question preparation. These are the list of basic questions which are mostly asked in every Spring Boot interview, both from freshers and interviewers. So the first question is what is Spring Boot? And the next, what are the features of Spring Boot? What is Spring Boot? Spring Boot makes it easy to create standalone production grade Spring based application that you can just run. So the next, what are the feature of Spring Boot? Auto configuration, standalone application, production ready features, starter dependencies, embedded server, Spring initializer, simplified configuration, microservices support. Now the next, define the key component of Spring Boot. The key component of Spring Boot are listed below. Spring Boot starters, auto configuration, Spring Boot actuator, Spring Boot CLI, embedded server. Next, what is add Spring Boot application? The add Spring Boot application annotation is a core annotation in Spring Boot used to mark the main class of a Spring Boot application. It combines several other annotations to simplify the setup of a Spring Boot application. Specifically, it is a shorthand for add Spring Boot configuration, add enable auto configuration, add component scan. The next question, explain the internal working of Spring Boot. This question is very important. Here are the main steps involved in how Spring Boot works. Start by creating a new Spring Boot project. Add the necessary dependencies to your project. Annotate the application with the appropriate annotation. Run the application. Next, what are the Spring Boot starter dependencies? Spring Boot provides many starter dependencies. Some of them which are used the most in the Spring Boot application are listed below. Data JPA starter, web starter, security starter, test starter, ThemeLeaf starter. The next, how does a Spring application get started? A Spring application gets started by calling the main method with at Spring Boot application annotation in the Spring application class. This method takes a Spring application builder object as a parameter which is used to configure the application. Once the Spring application object is created, the run method is called. Once the application context is initialized, the run method starts the application embedded web server. Take for example, this class, my application, annotated with at Spring Boot application uses the run method of Spring application class. The run method is a static method. That's all in this first part of my Spring Boot interview question. Thanks guys, like and subscribe.